Hello, and welcome to Voices for Phoenix, a collection of monologues in support of Phoenix Stage Company. This evening's event was organized by Rob Richnavsky and Chris Evans with producer Michael Calabrese. This evening's event is sponsored by Black Hog Brewing Company of Oxford, Connecticut. Visit their website at blackhogbrewing.com. Of course, their tasting room is closed right now, but you can place an order online, pick it up curbside, or you can just drive up and they'll take your order and assist you as they can. Also sponsored by Sierra Ridge Media Arts, a full-service production house from Naugatuck, Connecticut. Deb Cryan, thank you, Deb, for all of your support and everything you do for Phoenix Stage Company. To keep up to date with everything that's happening at Phoenix Stage Company, you can visit our website at phoenixstagecompany.org, and you can make a donation at any time to support your local community theater by visiting phoenix-stage-company.square.site. So we have some exciting things coming up here at Phoenix Stage Company. Besides tonight's Voices for Phoenix, which we appreciate so much, all of you watching, and all of the work that went into the event tonight. Special thanks to all of our monologue readers tonight, and to Michael Calabrese for all of the work that he did. Starting on June 4th, every Thursday, Take Flight Live will be taking place on this channel, Phoenix Stage Company's podcast, Take Flight with Phoenix Stage Company. We'll be hosting a bevy of different events that are going on. Myself, I'm Ed Bassett, Executive Director of Phoenix Stage Company. I'll be hosting the podcast along with Tim Phillips. We have some special events lined up for you. On June 4th, Teresa Alexander will be joining us as a special guest. Also, Lydia Cleft with Ask Lydia. She'll be answering some of your tough questions. Another highlight coming up on June 11th, we'll be doing a Cooking with Colleen segment. You won't want to miss that. So that's Thursdays, Take Flight Live on this channel with Phoenix Stage Company. And now we're going to move right on to our monologues. Our first monologue of the evening is being read by Rob Richnavsky. This is To Be or Not to Be. It is from Hamlet by William Shakespeare. Rob, take it away.
To be. Or not to be. That is the question. Whether 'tis nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take arms against a sea of troubles, and by opposing, end them. To die. To sleep. No more. And by a sleep we say we end the heartache and the 1,000 natural shocks that flesh is heir to. 'Tis a consummation devoutly to be wished. To die. To sleep. To sleep, perchance to dream. Aye. There's the rub. For in that sleep of death, what dreams may come when we have shuffled off this mortal coil must give us pause. There's the respect that makes calamity of so long life. For who would bear the whips and scorns of time, the oppressor's wrong, the proud man's contumely, the pangs of despised love, the law's delay, the insolence of office, and the spurns that patient merit of the unworthy takes when he himself might his quietus make with a bare bodkin? Who would fardels bear to grunt and sweat under a weary life without the dread of something after death? The undiscovered country from whose bourne no traveler returns. It puzzles the will and makes us rather bear those ills we have than to fly to others we know not of. Thus, conscience does make cowards of us all. And thus, the native hue of resolution is sickled all with the pale cast of thought. And enterprises of great pitch and moment with this regard, their currents turn awry and lose the name of action.
Thank you, Rob. The To Be or Not to Be soliloquy from Hamlet, written by William Shakespeare, performed by Rob Richnavsky. Moving forward, some of our monologues tonight do have adult themes. Just keep that in mind if we have any young listeners out there. Our next monologue up is being read by Aric Calabrese. Quarantine Made Me Straight, written by Kevin Wixer. Kevin Wixer is a playwright from Chicago with plays produced in Chicago as well as Hollywood, California. He has received several awards and honorable mentions for his work from around the country. Recently, Kevin has been writing plays about the gay experience, being true to oneself, and acceptance in his three new plays, Wreck, The Obedient Son, and Daddy's Little Girl. All of us at Phoenix Stage Company would love to read some of your new work, Kevin. Quarantine Made Me Straight, performed by Aric Calabrese. Take it away, Aric.
I'm gay. I've always been gay. I went practically naked to gay pride parade, for God's sake. I wore glitter. I am a homosexual. But ever since I've been quarantined in my house, I have had way too much time on my hands. I've been able to contemplate my own sexuality. And that's always a dangerous thing. I had my groceries delivered by a food service, and I had specifically asked for White Claw, the gay man's pop. But instead, they brought me Truly, the straight person's answer to gay soda, to make them feel special. I am not a Truly man. I am a White Claw man. I mean, I have rallied against those gays who have experienced this disastrous gay seltzer. And yet here I was with a demonic box of Truly in my fridge. I could hear the gay gods saying horrible, derogatory things to me for that awful excuse for that truly effervescent gay juice. But desperate times call for desperate measures. I took a sip. And suddenly things changed. I liked it. I really liked it. I became obsessed with it. I drank one for breakfast. I drank one for lunch and dinner. Just for the hell of it, I drank one every hour of the day just because I could. I ran out of Trulies that same day, and I had to order 3 more boxes so I could continue enjoying my new love. But what now? Am I gay? How could I be gay when I'm a traitor to the very community I've been a part of my whole life? Suddenly, I find myself on my Roku watching wrestling, and not just for the oily men. I was interested. I've never been interested. Usually I just fantasize about them having sex. Who was this new person? Who was I? Was I really me? Did something evil lie in those cans of Truly? Did some alien life form live in those cans of evil? Was it like the invasion of the body snatchers, except they change your sexuality? Ever since that moment, I haven't thought about men at all. Like, at all. All I can think about is who's going to be playing football this season, and when can I go to Home Depot to get a grilling kit? This quarantine has destroyed my life in every way. If it changed my sexuality, it can change yours. I seem to have walked back into the closet and nailed it shut. Quarantine is hell. And Truly is the devil.
Thank you, Aric. Quarantine Made Me Straight by Kevin Wixer. Our next monologue was written by and is being performed by Chris Evans. Chris was most recently seen on stage at Phoenix Stage Company in our production of Dead Ringer. He was Dewey in that particular production. As I said, this is a monologue written and performed by Chris Evans. Start a Good Life. Chris.
You want to hear something crazy? I haven't been sleeping since I came back home. Swear to God. I've just been sitting in my hotel lobby, watching shitty movies. Do you know after Dad left, I didn't sleep either? No. Some nights I thought I heard his BMW pulling up in the driveway. I'd walk to the window full of hope. Never was him. The other night, I thought I was losing my mind. I had a moment where I thought I saw a BMW. It was pulling up in the hotel parking lot. And for a second, I wondered. I hoped. Stupid. I know you hate me for leaving, Benny, but I had to start sleeping again. I had to stop wondering when I was going to be happy again. I had to stop hoping. I had to stop walking into rooms and replaying the day that he left. When I came home from school and I walked into that living room and saw that our couch was gone. Just imprints on the carpet. Or what about that bathroom that Mom used to lock herself in when she was having one of her episodes, when she couldn't cope? You think that you're the only person that this has scarred? You think I'm immune to our childhood? Oh, Jesus Christ, I'm watching you put a fresh coat of paint on these walls and move department store furniture in like it's going to erase everything that happened here, like it's going to breathe new life into this place. It's pathetic. Dad left you and me. The difference between you and me, I stopped trying to make it up to Mom 20 years ago. When are you going to stop trying? Yeah, I know. You think this is me trying to get you to sell. Look, you want to sell the house? You want to sit here and let it rot? You want to burn it to the ground? Whatever. Fuck it. Listen, look at me. Look at me, Benny. Look. You are not Dad if you leave. You're not. So please, go. Leave this place. Start a good life that's finally yours.
Chris Evans, a self-written monologue, Start a Good Life. Thank you, Chris. Our next monologue is being performed by Tori Richnavsky. It's also written by Kevin Wickser, a playwright from Chicago. It's entitled, You Can't Kill Your Husband Like That. Tori was last seen on stage here at Phoenix Stage Company, also in Dead Ringer. Actually, she wasn't seen. She was in a box. So you heard her. But tonight you can see her and hear her in her box performing You Can't Kill Your Husband Like That, written by Kevin Wickser. Tori.
It is hard to kill your husband, Cheryl. Take my word for it. I've tried. You want it to be so exciting. It ends up as one of those unsolved mystery episodes. You want to sit down, watch the show, see your crime dramatized on national television and say to yourself, hey, I did that. Kudos to me. Never turns out the way you planned it. Never. I have tried to kill my husband 17 and a half times. Oh, how does one attempt to kill a husband a half time? When the man you hired is about to do the job, but accidentally gets hit by a UPS truck outside your house moments before the hit. Oh, luckily payment wasn't due until after the deed was done, so I got pretty lucky there. The halftime was the first time I tried to kill him. The rest of the time I decided I would have to take care of it myself because pinning on the wife is too obvious. They always look at the spouse first, duh. Luckily, my friend, Spicy Frida, works at one of the largest costume shops in the city. I was gonna pose as someone else, walk around the property like a stalker, so there were witnesses, then do what I need to do, run away, and come back from reading to the blind. Because how could they prove it? I know, it's pretty brilliant. So now you're thinking, but you yourself have tried to kill him 17 times? Turns out, my husband cannot die. I have shot him, stabbed him, poisoned him, flung him down the stairs, thrown him out a window, run him over with the car, strangled him, called him horrible, degrading names, and nothing has worked. All I want is a little extra money so I can move to Mexico and eat my weight in tacos with a Cabana boy named Juan. Is that asking too much? And he simply will not die. Now I'm depressed. So, sorry for the long explanation, but yes, if you must know, that is why I'm buying these explosives, Cheryl.
Thank you, Tori. You Can't Kill Your Husband Like That by Kevin Wixer. Next, we have Tim Phillips. Last seen here at Phoenix Stage Company on stage in Drinking Habits 2. Tim is performing Lance's monologue from Two Gentlemen of Verona, written by William Shakespeare. Please enjoy Tim Phillips.
Nay, 'twill be this hour ere I have done weeping. All the kind of the lances have this very fall. I have received my proportion, like the prodigious son, and am going with Sir Proteus to the imperial court. I think Crab, my dog, be the sourest natured dog that lives. My mother weeping, my father wailing, my sister crying, our maid howling, our cat wringing its hands, and all the house in a great perplexity. Yet did not this cruel-hearted cur shed not one tear. He is a stone, a very pebble stone, and has no more pity in him than a dog. A Jew would have wept to have seen our parting. Why, my grandam, having no eyes, look you, wept herself blind at my parting. Nay, I'll show you the manner of it. This shoe is my father. No. This left shoe is my father. No, this left shoe is my mother. Nay, that cannot be so neither. Yes, it is so. It is so. It hath the worser soul. Now, this shoe with a hole in it is my mother, and this is my father. A vengeance on it! There it is. Now, this staff, yes, is my sister. Look, she is as white as a lily and as small as a wand. This this hat is Nan, our maid. I am the dog. No, the dog is himself, and I am the dog. Oh, the dog is me, and I am myself. I so. Now, come I to my father. Father, your blessing. Now should not the shoe speak a word for weeping? Now should I kiss my father? Well, he weeps on. Now come I to my mother. Oh, that she could speak like a moved woman. Well, I kiss her. There it is. Now here's my mother's breath up and down. Now come I to my sister. Mark the moans she makes. And now the dog, all the while, sheds not one tear, nor speaks a word. But see how I lay with the dust, with my tears.
Thank you, Tim Phillips, Lance's monologue from Two Gentlemen of Verona. Our final performance of the evening is Jonathan Ross. He is performing for you The Lion and Albert, written by Marriott Edgar. Jonathan Ross.
There's a famous seaside place called Blackpool, and it's noted for fresh air and fun. And Mr. and Mrs. Ramsbottom went there with young Albert, their son. Oh, a grand little lad was young Albert, all dressed in his best, quite a swell, with a stick with an horse's head handle, the finest that Woolworths could sell. They didn't think much to the ocean. Oh, the waves, they was fiddling and small. There were no wrecks, and nobody drowned. In fact, nothing to laugh at all. So, seeking for further amusement, they paid and went into the zoo, where there's lions and tigers and camels, and old ale and sandwiches too. Now there were one great big lion called Wallace. His nose it were covered with scars, and he lay in a somnolent posture with the side of his face on the bars. Now Albert had heard about lions, how they was ferocious and wild. And to see Wallace lying there so peaceful, well, it didn't seem right to the child. So straightway the brave little fella, not showing a morsel of fear, took his stick with the horse's head handle and pushed it in Wallace's ear. Oh, well, you could see that the lion didn't like it, for giving a kind of a roll, he pulled Albert inside the cage with him and swallowed the little lad whole. And then Pa, who had seen the occurrence and didn't know what to do next, said, "Mother, yon lion's at Albert." Mother said, "Well, I am vexed." Then Mr. and Mrs. Ramsbottom, quite rightly when all's said and done, complained to the animal keeper that the lion had eaten their son. The keeper was quite nice about it. He said, "What a nasty mishap. Are you sure that it's your boy he's eaten?" Pa said, "Am I sure? There's his cap." The manager had to be said for. He came and he said, "What's to do?" Pa said, "Yon lion's at Albert, and him in his Sunday clothes too." Then Mother said, "Quite right, young fella. We think it's a shame and a sin for a lion to go and eat Albert, and after we'd paid to come in." The manager wanted no trouble, so he took out his purse straightway, saying, "How much to settle the matter?" Pa said, "What do you usually pay?" But then Mother had turned a bit awkward when she thought where Albert had gone. She said, "No, someone's got to be summoned." And so that was agreed upon. So off they went to the police station in front of the magistrate chap. They told him what had happened to Albert, and they proved it by showing his cap. The magistrate gave his opinion that no one's really to blame, and he said that he hoped the Ramsbottoms would add further sons to their names. At that, Mother got proper blazing, and "Thank you, sir, kindly," said she. "What, waste all our lives raising children to feed ruddy lions? Not me."
Thank you, Jonathan Ross, The Lion and Arthur by Mariette Edgar. Thank you all so much for joining us for the Voices for Phoenix. Keep up to date on everything at Phoenix by visiting our website, www.phoenixstagecompany.org. Make sure that you subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can make donations at any time to support your local community theater by visiting phoenix-stage-company.square.site. We'd also like to recognize everyone behind the scenes, our event organizers, Rob Richnavsky and Chris Evans, producer, Michael Calabrese. I'm Ed Bassett, I'm your host. Graphics and titles today were done by Sharon W. Hauk. And once again, thank you to our performers, Rob Richnavsky, Aric Calabrese, Chris Evans, Jonathan Ross, Tori Richnavsky, and Tim Phillips. Once again, thank you all for joining us tonight. We look forward to seeing you